Hi, I'm Lord Sorcerer. Welcome back to the workbench, and today we are looking at this PlayStation 1 controller. Now, I'm fixing a bunch of PlayStations to sell, so this is one of the controllers that I'm thinking about including with one of those units. However, we have a bit of a problem. This cable is actually not attached. So this is going to be a challenge, I think. So here's my idea. Obviously this cable's not going to work out, so I need to get another one. I have this third-party PlayStation controller, and these buttons don't feel good, and these third-party controllers just in general I find to be of relatively low quality, so if I can poach the cable off of here and then use that to make a like a Frankenstein controller, that'd be cool. So let's give that a shot. You might also have noticed that this controller is extremely dirty. I'm about to get this open and take a look at how this cable connects to the controller inside. This might be trouble. Some of these screws are rusted completely flat, and they're mowing the grass outside. My favorite. I'm really having to crank on some of these, so they might end up going out of view of the camera. Yeah, there's nothing left on that guy. Can I drill these out without destroying the plastic? That doesn't sound like a good idea. I might do it anyway, because otherwise I'm not getting in here. Let's see what I got. The drill has no charge, which is probably good. I don't think that will work. I think these are completely stripped. There's nothing left. So these rusty screws are not going back in regardless. So I'm going to put these in the trash. And they're rusty, but not so rusty I can break the heads off. Alright, so we may have to declare bankruptcy on those screws and just break this front piece off. Now this went from a repair video to a science experiment real quick. And this controller looks like it's been chewed up by a dog, so I mean, a little bit of ripping up the seams here is probably not going to be too noticeable. There's one. And this one's going to rip up the plastic, but whatever. And that screw post is holding on for dear life. It's okay, buddy. It's been 30 years. You can let go. Easy. So, here we have the inside of the controller, which I have completely mangled. It was only extremely mangled before. Alright, so we have separate boards for the triggers, so that's interesting. Okay, so this is the post. I had to break this one here. This is the broken post for the corner screw. And then the other one's staying on this side. I really mangled the seam here, but whatever. These out, and that should get us do something about this. Obviously, I don't care if it breaks or not. What I care about is, am I going to damage the board getting this out? Now wait to find out if I destroyed this piece. That one's a solid maybe. We'll worry about that some other day. And here we go. Cable connector solders in on this side over here. So presumably I can just remove those, but I think what I need to do is actually keep track of which color goes where, because I need to figure out which of those wires corresponds to which pin on the plug. resisting the urge to touch this copper shielding because it already stabbed me once. But who knows what kind of tetanus I'm going to get from that. So the wire's all stripped, and then I got this connector here is a little chewed up. If I can gain access to these pins somehow. That's going to have to do. Okay. Good enough. Let's see if we can figure out which pin is which. Pin 9 is green. We're getting somewhere. Pin 6 is yellow. Or red. Pin 5 is red. I mean, for sure, somebody has already done this, and I'm wasting my time, but I'm having fun. And 4 is black. 2 is orange. Okay, so I'm missing 3, but I'm sure they're all hooked up. I definitely have a couple of pins that are no connect. Because we only have 2 pins left, and we have 4 that are not found on the plug. 7 is blue. 8 is brown. I might have mangled this wire too much. Let me strip off a fresh section and try again. Is it 1? It's 1. Now, I'm fairly certain it's normal for some of these to be not connected because this third-party connector, I don't even know if you can see it in there, but it is completely missing pin 8. The pin's not even there, and I'm pretty sure I've seen official controllers that are like that too. Pin 8's missing, and this doesn't have analog sticks, so I'm guessing pin 3 is for that. So we don't need that one either. Alright, so how do those correspond to the board here? In no way. Okay, great. I'm making a table in Notepad, and it is not pretty. If I knew it was going to be a table, I probably should have just done it directly in a spreadsheet program. Alright, let's see if I can get this connector off here the nice way. You know, it occurs to me I should have opened up the third-party controller to just make sure the cable is fixed in there in a similar way that would make it possible for me to do this exchange. I'm going to have to get some of this crap out of the way so I can get my fume extractor out, and they're just going to have no audio during that time because it's very loud. Okay, so I whipped up what I believe to be is most of that solder. The ones I was really worried about are the ones next to these resistors, or whatever the hell these are. These ones here. Yeah, like this one is a capacitor, and then the other 2 are resistors. But I just don't want to accidentally scoop those up off the board with the wick. Alright. Oh, have some movement. Hey! Perfect. So now if I can come up with a one-to-one mapping of the pins on the new connector to this connector, I'll just literally through a whole side of them in here. And then hopefully there's only one trace I have to jump where I scratch the board. I got a big old dummy. Alright, so here's this guy. Let's see what we got going on. Hopefully these screws fit too, because those originals are in the trash. Realizing the strain relief bit might be an issue. It might be better off just cutting this off anyway. But still, I'm going to need the screws if these fit. Pretend I care about damaging this and use a plastic spudger. Okay. It's like halfway built like an Xbox controller. They hide. They did, those bastards. Oh, well, that's cute. They used all the same colors. Yeah, they're just in here all in a row. There they are. It says Gaxoy. Okay. There's a provision for the unused pin. That's nice. Which is hanging out here. Yeah, you gotta love the blob chip. They really don't want you to know what's under there. God forbid you want to rip off this controller design. I don't know why you would. As much as I would love to desolder these, I'm starting to suspect I'm gonna have to cut this cable anyway. Unless the strain relief comes off, and I don't think it does. Well, chop chop. Well, it might be easier to test which wire goes where using the solder points. Hello, focus. What are the odds these are the same? Okay, we're 1 for 1. That's 100%. So, let's see, it's looking pretty good. Ooh, 2 for 2. 3 appears to be a no connect. It's probably connected on this one because it does have analog. I guess maybe incorrect. Okay, well, we'll skip it. 4 we had is black. 5 we said was red. Amazing. 6 we said was yellow. This is truly shocking. 7 is that blue. There's no pin 8. I've been doing this off camera multiple times, so that's wonderful. And this has to be green just by process of elimination. Okay. Yeah, for whatever reason, they use the same color coordination as the official controller, so that's awesome. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to chop this wire and strip it back, and then we're going to solder these onto the official OEM controller. I would put things back in the same place every time. It would be much easier to find them later. And my mom always told me that. Never believed her. Is there like some powdery crap on these? Probably gave myself anthrax. Awesome. Just get a little bit on the end. That'd be cool. Put this up here so I'm not trying to hold it up and triple wire at the same time. Alright. Got this prepped. Immediately we have a little guide here because they decided to use Sony's same wiring. Just want to point out that I already confused myself. I made a mistake and my camera's about to die. So I'm going to turn that off and get back with you hopefully once I'm done with this. Alright, well here it is. This is the end result. I washed it up. Couldn't be bothered to go get the dish detergent, so I used my body wash. So it is a very masculine smelling controller. So okay with that. And I used some magic eraser, and I'm going to admit it, a little bit of filing to get some of the more egregious gunk over here. I don't think I got a picture of it, but there was a giant brown mark here and a brown slash across this screw hole. So those are cleaned up. All the gunk out from underneath and in between the embossed letters here. I really hate getting in there, but kind of grab something like a toothbrush and scrub that out. Got all the gunk out of the seams here. I did have to do some really unspeakable things to get the old strip screws out of the plastic, so I didn't record any of that. You don't want to see it. I'd go to jail if anybody had seen that and witnessed it. So a couple of screws missing back here that are unable to be installed, but the ones from the third-party controller fit, and this should be good to go. When I plugged this into my USB controller converter, that did not work. The LED on there just continuously flashed in a way that made me think something was shorted out inside of here, but I plugged it into an actual PlayStation 2 and it worked perfectly, so I don't know. Maybe that adapter's just not compatible with digital-only controllers. I don't know. I've never tried it before. So, anyway. So, yeah, here we go. We got our black cable with our mismatched original OEM controller. All the buttons are working. Even the right arrow. I thought I had ripped that trace on the board. I'll show you a picture of the soldering job I did on the wires here. It is not that pretty, but the joints are round and shiny, so they're making good contact, so that's good. And I'll close up on the traces. I did scratch the board, but did not apparently sever any of those traces like I thought I did. So, yeah, all the buttons are working, and this repair is complete. And now I feel like I wasted my time because there's no way I'm going to feel good about selling this to somebody. So this is just for me now. Alright, thanks for watching. You can do any of the regular YouTube stuff if you want to like this. This isn't the kind of video I've normally done in the past, so if you enjoyed it, please let me know with a like. You can subscribe if you want to. Leave a comment if you think I did something incorrect on this, so there will probably be a lot of comments because I did a lot wrong. Thanks for watching. See you next time.